So, today we're diving into a really fascinating new study that connects a simple daily habit to how we actually experience aging. It's a powerful idea, right? That something you do each day can actively change your relationship with getting older. Let's get into it. I mean, it's a pretty common anxiety, isn't it? This idea that as we age, we're supposed to become a certain way, maybe less capable, less energetic, or less relevant. And look, these aren't just some vague fears in the back of our minds. They have a real impact.
And that's really the crucial point here. All those negative messages we hear about aging can get under our skin and actually influence our well-being on a day-to-day basis. But what if there was a way to push back against that?
And that is exactly what this is all about. See, a study that was just published in Current Research in Behavioral Sciences has identified a psychological state that acts as this potent daily buffer against all those negative ideas. All right, so first things first, let's set the stage by looking at the problem itself, these pervasive stereotypes that surround aging. This quote from this study, it gets right to the heart of it. Now, sure, some stereotypes about older adults are positive, like being wise, but a lot of them are overwhelmingly negative. And the crazy part is, research shows these negative stereotypes have actually gotten more negative over the last 200 years. There's actually a name for this whole process. It's called stereotype embodiment theory. The idea is that we can absorb these cultural beliefs, and once they're inside, they can influence our psychology, our behavior, and even our physical health. It's a powerful and, frankly, a pretty concerning idea. So, what's the antidote? Well, the study proposes this powerful psychological state that, honestly, many of us have probably experienced without even knowing what to call it: flow. So here's the official definition. The whole concept was pioneered by the psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. He described it as that feeling of being totally in the zone, where you're just so absorbed in what you're doing that everything else just kind of melts away.
This is what that in-the-zone feeling is really made of. You've got this complete focus on what you're doing, a real sense of control. You're not worried about what others think. That self-consciousness is gone. Time itself just feels different. It might speed up or slow down. And the activity itself, it just feels good to do.
And this is such a great way to picture it. The sweet spot for flow is like a perfectly balanced seesaw. The challenge of the task has to line up just right with your skill level, and it's that balance that keeps you totally engaged, whether you're that painter, a gardener, or even just deep in a great conversation. Okay, so here's where it all comes together. How does getting in the zone actually fight back against those negative views on aging? The researchers discovered this incredible chain reaction. It turns out that on days when people experienced flow, they also reported holding less negative views about their own aging. And that, in turn, was linked to having a better mood, more positive feelings and fewer negative ones. It's just this beautiful, positive cascade. And just look at this data. It's pretty wild. So yeah, flow makes you feel good directly. That's the big slice of the pie. But here's the kicker. A huge chunk of its mood-boosting power, we're talking over 42%, comes indirectly by changing how you feel about aging that day. Experiencing that competence and control seems to be a direct counterpunch to those stereotypes about being frail or dependent.
Okay, but like with any good study, the details really matter. So let's look at some of the important nuances the researchers uncovered. And this is a really, really key detail. The benefits of flow are powerful, for sure, but they're for today only. As you can see, you get this strong same-day boost to your mood and your views on aging. But the study found those effects don't spill over. They're gone by the next day. So the crucial takeaway here is that this isn't some one-and-done solution. It really suggests that the best way to use flow is as a consistent daily practice. It's kind of like a daily dose of psychological resilience. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. The study also looked at whether just having a high-flow lifestyle in general leads to a better long-term attitude about aging. And for people under 60, it did. But for those 60 and over, that long-term link, it wasn't there. Okay, so let's just make sure we're all on the same page about what this means. The daily mood boost works for everyone, no matter your age. That's a super important finding. But the idea that frequent flow can build a more positive, foundational attitude toward aging over the long haul, that was only seen in the younger group of participants. So, after going through all this data, what's the simple, actionable message we can walk away with from all this? This right here, this is the bottom line. It's not about ignoring aging.
It's about reshaping your experience of it. By finding and making time for those activities that put you in a state of flow, you can create a daily, powerful counter-narrative to those negative stereotypes and boost your mood in the process. So, I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What's that thing for you? The thing that makes you lose track of time, feel totally in control, and completely absorbed. Because according to this research, that very activity might be one of the most powerful tools you have for aging well.